With the fall semester approaching rapidly, we can see more schools at the college level are pushing for the return of in person classes. Although the pandemic in the United States is considered to be a thing of the past, nowadays we can still see new COVID cases every day. This brings many questions to the surface on whether we are ready to make that transaction back. I'm going to inform you all how students' lives are affected because of the pandemic and the worries that we all face returning to on campus classes. As a college student myself, I can testify that the return to this in person classes worries me. During the pandemic, I caught COVID 19 and experienced firsthand the effects it has on the body. Therefore, I know the discomfort that comes with the idea of returning to in person classes and being at risk of getting the virus again. Which leads us to question ourselves, are students ready to make that lifestyle changes from the remote learning in the person to in person learning? What are the requirements for students to go back in person to in person classes? What do these changes affect in our lives in general? One of the things that college students, when returning back to in person classes, question is how their day to day activities will be affected. Students' lives will be affected in many ways since remote learning requires you to take classes from your computer rather than online and in person. With that being said, we can see that this will be time consuming for all students. Instead of arriving home and doing work from the comfort of your home, students will now have to drive to school, get ready for school, find parking, walk to class. All of that takes up time. Another point is the fact that what safety requirements are being enforced for students to be safe when it comes to health. For example, Moreno Valley College requires students to give proof of vaccinations, of COVID tests before attending in person classes, and to be verified on a day to day basis for students to report how they're feeling and their symptoms. Finally, the third thing students think about when returning back to online classes is how their lives in general will change. Students' life will change in general through the fact that learning remotely has given students the comfort of creating their own schedules, whether it's working in the morning or working at night. No matter what time you arrive home from work, you have the comfort of just getting to work on your courses. Whether some students have families and kids to take care of, now their whole schedules will have to be adapted and changed to fit the schedule of on campus courses. In conclusion, we can see how the return to in person classes will completely change the life of all students. How the return to on campus classes will definitely make everybody question, are things back to normal? Even though we may seem that we're transitioning in slowly to on campus and living life how it was before the pandemic, many students will still have those questions. And who knows, maybe in the future one day we all look back to these times and see how difficult it was to transition and how we were able to make the transition.